Aira's Oculus is the first tier 3 abyssal raid in Lost Ark, and as some of the latest endgame content, you can expect this dungeon to smash you into the ground. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad at all, but here's some pointers to get you through this dungeon. The first boss has two main mechanics. The first being that every time he gets staggered, he will rage out like the classic Andes and Asmongold's chat and get stronger. His second mechanic is that he will leave purple pools on the ground after smashing around with his flail, which lowers your stagger but increases the damage you take in order to avoid the boss getting staggered and thus stronger. That being said, I just ignored that and staggered the fuck out of the boss and killed him really fast. On the harder version, however, you might want to lower your stagger by standing in these pools to avoid staggering the boss. Also, after doing this ability shown here, he can grab a player if there's someone in front of him. If you want, you can choose to stand in front of him to get picked up, and all your team has to do is stagger him, which also debuffs his damage a bit if you successfully stagger him. The last thing to mention is his essentially one-shot mechanic where he will scream, then do a whirlwind type of attack, and if you see it, you need to run or you will die. Now onto the second boss, who is this really annoying clown guy, but he's actually a really cool fight. First up, the boss has blue telegraphed abilities in his first phase on some attacks, and if these land, you will get stunned and may lead to a lot of follow-up damage, so run out of these. As you damage the boss, he will transition into his second phase where most of the major mechanics happen. His major mechanics are that he will jump onto his ball and stun you all, requiring each of you to perform a typing test. It's really easy to do, but if you're bad at typing, then you might need to hit up Type Racer. And the second major mechanic is when he jumps onto his ball in the middle of the room and spawns balls everywhere. Kill the balls to avoid the boss getting stronger, and also be prepared to dodge his big telegraphs. And lastly, in his final form, he basically just throws out a ton of huge telegraphs that become hard to dodge, so get your Jordans on or you're gonna get smoked. In his final phase as well, he can also knock you all out, and when you wake up, you will have to run out of a quick AoE on your current position, so be prepared to dodge. Now onto some basic attacks he will do. One attack is when he gets onto his ball and chases a player, and you have to run away if you're the targeted player and the rest of the team has to stagger him. Also, just in general, try not to stand in front of him as he will do a lot of cone attacks that hit really hard. The second attack he can do is kicking balls at different party members. Try to spread out to avoid AoE damage. For his third attack, he will jump into the air and do a telegraph on the ground. This can actually be a fake out as he can choose to not land where he telegraphed and instead land on the new location after you dodged his ability, so be careful. In his last phase, he will do a lot of massive telegraphs, so just try to DPS as quick as you can, and I encourage you to use your awakening abilities here, otherwise you might get wiped. And that's that. I hope this guide helped you, and if it did, please remember to subscribe, like, and or comment, as it'll really help me out. Anyways guys, thank you so much again. I'm out.